Okay, Ryan. So looking at it from, well, let's pull the pressure pad up first, right? And then, you know, kind of give you the explanation as to why you're kind of hanging back on that right foot, right? So you kind of load up into the right foot there, then start moving back to your left foot as your head starts moving back that way. Now as your head starts moving, it's kind of like as your head starts moving forward of the box, you counterbalance by kind of pushing down into your back foot. It's like your head's going back. Whoops. It's like your head's going forward, so you're pushing down more under the back foot. It's a weird one, right? But it's all related to how you're moving your head, and you're not keeping your head steady, right? That's the main thing. We want to just pivot around the centre of your shoulders there, right? We want to pivot around the centre of your shoulders, so you can see head moves a little bit to the right, going back. Little bit of a lack of wrist cock there. You can see how Sean O'Hare kind of gets about 90 degrees. And then as we get to the top, that right hand comes away from the left hand, and you can see your left thumb right there. Shouldn't be able to see your left thumb. That right hand should be against the left thumb. That's a pressure point, right? You want to keep that pressure point. And then as you start, so your elbows separate, your hands are a little bit too close to your chest instead of pushing away from your chest for the arm structure. We want the elbows together more, right? That's why we've got a ball between your arms. We'll show you that in a second. And then that is what contributes to the hands coming just a little bit over the top of the plane. The head moving forward is definitely contributing to the hands coming over the top of the plane, right? And then because of your arm structure, as you come down at the top, as you come down, the right elbow just is not kind of digging in to the side of your body enough, right? You can see where his elbow is now, right there, compared to his shoulder, right? So when you look at these pros as they start to come down, and this is the idea of getting this right elbow underneath the left one, because as they come down, I mean, you can see his forearm there, but as he comes down, it just looks like now he's got one arm. Now we can start to see a little bit of his right forearm, right? Whereas when you come down, again, because of that structure at the top, hand comes away from your thumb, elbows too far apart, arm bent. As you come down, we can always see that right arm on top of your left one, correct? So the drill we got you doing was stick on the ground, toes, one in the middle for your head. Now, when we're doing this, you always want to be keeping your head over the stick. That's your awareness drill, right? So what we're doing is head over the stick, ball between the arms, keep your elbows squeezing together, keep your right palm on top of your left thumb, right there, during the whole. That's why I put a dot on your glove right there, right? So much better there. If we just straighten this leg out a little bit and allowed this hip to move back behind you a little bit, that way, that would increase the hip turn, that would increase the shoulder turn. You combine that with a bit more bending back, and suddenly your hands will go from there to about there, and the club would be there. No problem at all, right? That's a 2-minute lesson, right? So don't worry that when you video yourself, it looks a little short. We're just working on the structure and keeping the head centered at the moment, right? So much better to there with the wrist cock lock, right? Now as we're coming down, you're working on getting this right elbow underneath the left one. There you go. There you go. So now it just looks like you've got one arm. One arm, one arm, one arm, one arm, one arm. Now we start seeing about there is where we start seeing a little bit of your right arm. But in that position, if we stop you there, maybe when your hands are just starting to get over your right thigh, look at where your right elbow is compared to before, right? obviously then how this right arm is folded affects the wrist cock as well. So you can see there, because this right arm is extending too much, the left wrist, and like you said, talking about ulnar deviation, radial deviation, your left wrist is already, if we draw a line on your forearm, on your ulnar bone, the underside of your arm, and then look at your wrist angle, you can see you're already going into ulnar deviation, right? Whereas you've kept all that in one line, so you're deviating your wrist, cocking your wrist towards the radial bone, radial deviation, the top of your arm. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's just so much better, man. Yeah. So much better. You want to improve your ball striking, this is where we start. Yeah, that's awesome.